Tuppence Magazine!
Hi guys, and welcome to our introduction to NBA Playgrounds here at Tuppence Magazine. And here we're going to get into the 2-on-2 action and fun of NBA Playgrounds. And you kind of look at this game and you kind of think to yourself, it's probably going to be easy to get into, but unfortunately, it's not super easy to get started. It's actually tricky to get into the gameplay. The main navigation, well, it's pretty simple to look at now. Actually, understanding how you unlock things is a little bit frustrating at times. So we're just going to take you through a few of those things quickly so that you can get into the game as quick as possible. The first thing that you should know as soon as you land in there is that tournaments and online mode are pretty much locked, so you can't get into them when you first land in the game. All you'll be able to do is get into the exhibition, and you'll start the game by getting your first batch of cards, which when you unlock a few more, you'll come back to the open pack section of the main menu to kind of get into those new cards as you unlock them. And when you start thinking about the cards, you start thinking, is that DLC? Am I going to have to pay for it? Da 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 da. Well, the good news is that none of the players are DLC, download, playable, pay for characters. They kind of all come as you unlock elements of the game. So as you complete tournaments and as you kind of develop your skills throughout the game. So once you've started to unlock those, you'll get much more cards, and you'll be able to see those in your card collection here. And you can see from our card collection that we got quite a few. And this screen's pretty important because here you can see the players. Admittedly, you can see them when you select them later on in the game, but if you wanted to have a quick audit of everybody, you can go in here. So for example, I've got all of the Toronto Raptors players, and you can see them here. And the most important point is you can see their stats. So by looking at the stats, you can see how you're going to use a player. So for example, DeMar DeRozan, I always use him for dunking, so he's great for that. He's got like a 9 on dunk. His stamina and speed's not too bad. He's pretty good on steals, and he's pretty effective on 2-pointers. Terrible at 3 points, but you kind of take that on the chin, and I kind of normally match him up with somebody who's pretty good at 3 points as well. So that's kind of a bit of an introduction to the stats and why they're important. Essentially, you're kind of trying to hone in on the things that are important to you when you start to play. So once you've got your players and you're set up, the first thing that you'll have to do is actually go through an exhibition game with a tutorial attached to it. So you'll go into here and you'll start a game, and it'll kind of talk you through the basic moves and what you can and can't do within the game. And actually these are quite tricky, so we'll come to a few hints and tips for them a little bit later on. While it is a little bit frustrating that you've got to go through the whole rigmarole of doing the tutorial and making it through the exhibition and then getting into the tournaments before you can get anywhere near the online mode, it kind of does help you to develop your skills. So it's kind of frustrating to start with, and as soon as we jumped in the game, we wanted to go straight online to be able to go up against other people. And the reality is that the Nintendo Switch version of the game still hasn't launched the online version. So no matter what you do, you can't actually unlock the online Switch version, which is kind of frustrating. We know it's going to come eventually, but it kind of should have been on day one, and it's annoying that it's not. Okay, so the exhibition mode essentially introduces you to all the moves of the game, and you can see them here in this screen, which gives you all the kind of options when it comes to attack and all the options when it comes to defense. Obviously, if you're playing this on the Xbox One or PC or the PlayStation 4, then you've got slightly different controls for your controllers, but essentially there's moves for rebound, throws, throw your elbows, passes, crossovers, which is quite a cool move. So we're just going to quickly run through a few of those. And the most important thing is starting off the game well. And you want to get this ball just as it's at the crest. Okay, so the game introduces you to passes, to alley-oops, to steals, and to getting your ass kicked. And the wonder of pushes. And you need to be a bit careful of pushes because Kind of if you use them all the time, then you'll lose your lottery picker. Oh, just a bit late there. Also gives you a chance to practice your 3-pointers. Crossovers, where you can do some moves like that. And dunks. And once you've completed the exhibition tutorial, it will unlock the tournaments mode. And from here, you'll go into the tournament section and you'll play against AI, against players all over the world. So you start in New York, which is the first tournament that's open. And then you kind of move to Tokyo, which is the second one, and then Paris, and then work your way around the tournaments, which is quite cool. If you're playing on the Xbox One or the PS4 or the PC version of the game, then you'll be able to unlock the online mode by going into the tournament section and completing at least 2 of the tournaments. So you can see within New York, there's 2 quite easy ones, the 8th round and the 4th round, which you can kind of pretty much do relatively easily to make it through into the online mode. If you've got the Nintendo Switch version, then you're just going to have to wait, bide your time, build up your skills, and then eventually, maybe soon, hopefully, they'll release the online mode for NBA Playgrounds on the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so, you know, obviously NBA Playgrounds is a bit of a faff to get into because, you've got to go through all the rigmarole of the tutorial and unlocking tournaments before you can go on to unlocking the online mode if you're not playing the Nintendo Switch version. But actually the gameplay itself is a bit finicky to get into. It's tricky. The shooting in particular is really tough. And we're just going to try and demonstrate that by taking on one of these tournaments in Paris. So we'll start off with shooting, which is the trickiest element. So here goes. Okay, so here we are in the game itself, and we're just going to try a shot to just show you how tricky it is to get the release right. And actually we got really lucky there and blasted a 3-pointer. So as soon as we get the ball again, we'll show you how tricky it is. And it's all about getting the perfect timing. You essentially want to time your shots to be exactly at the right point of when you get to the top of your jump. So we're just going to show you that now. And that was too early. So essentially, we press the button to shoot, we release the button to shoot a little bit too early there. And that one was too late. And actually, it wasn't a great deal of difference between the two. So it shows you how close things can get. And there you can see a dunk coming off. So essentially for dunks, it's kind of tricky because each dunk's a little bit different. So some dunks will be straight away, so you've got to release the shot straight away, and some dunks you kind of release a little bit closer to the basket. So we've got super speed. We use the lottery picker to get super speed, and you can see that shot was late. So you just got to keep trying to get your shots perfectly timed so that you can score points. So we're going to try that again. And hopefully we'll get a perfect shot. There we go. So that's 2 points. So that's the kind of thing that you're looking for. You're looking for the perfect release. So it's all about the perfect release, and that was late, which is a shame because that would have been the game tie-in move. End of match and we've lost. So essentially you've got to get the timing absolutely right. And we hit quite a few 3-pointers in that little play. But essentially you've got to literally time it at the top of your jump. And if you can do that, then you'll land more of your shots straight away. Okay, so the second tip we've got is that it's all about that stamina bar. And you can see it underneath player 1. You see the little orange strip at the bottom? And we're just going to use some of that by doing some sprinting. And there we go, we landed a dunk. Got the first points, which is lovely. You need to monitor your stamina. If you can do this effectively, then you'll be able to win more games. Okay, so we've got the ball back, and essentially it's all about stamina so that you can do moves like this. So as well as the dunk shots, you can also use them to do pushes to get the ball back, but it's important to know that if you do that, then you do lose your lottery picker bonus, which is in the top left-hand side of the screen. Beautiful three-pointer there. And our last tip is that you need to combine all this with a hell of a lot of hustle. Because they get progressively difficult, the tournaments do, as you get on. And you can see this one's a nail biter. It's 8-7. So it's all about hustle and defense. So what you're trying to do is turn the ball around as much as possible. And you can see there, we kind of stopped him. He's had to throw elbows, use up a bit of his stamina. And you know, they might score every now and again, but they're only 2 pointers because you're getting up in their face. Which means you can land the alley-oops like that. And you get the match win. So happy days. Thanks guys for tuning in to our little introduction to NBA Playgrounds. It's been a good game. As you can see, there's kind of lots of things for you to work on, but obviously it's all about unlocking that online mode. Don't forget to subscribe below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks guys, goodbye.